Hi, I'm Mrs. Painter. Welcome to my kitchen. Please like, share, and subscribe. Today we are going to make cloud bread the way I make cloud bread. I don't like to eat it just like bread. I like to make bread thins with it. They're great for egg sandwiches. You can make a keto dessert with whipped cream, berries. Has kind of a croissant texture to it. One thing that's a little bit different about this cloud bread is you can't toast it in a toaster. You can heat it up in an air fryer. But let's get started. So what we're going to be using today is a little bit of spray olive oil. You can actually use any fat you want, but I'm going to put this on my baking sheet. Oh, and actually, we're going to use a silicone mold. These little round silicone molds, these are perfect for making cloud bread. And we're using this because we want it to be shaped round. It'll form to whatever shape you put it in. Let's just do it a little quick. And I'm just using the spray olive oil for convenience, but you can use whatever you like. It's possible that it wouldn't stick with the silicone, but if I'm going to go to the trouble to do this, I want to make certain that it's not going to stick. So we have that ready. So there's two parts to this kind of. We're going to use eggs. So we have 3 eggs here. We are going to use 3 tablespoons of cream cheese. We're going to use some baking powder, and we're going to use some sea salt. We're going to put our egg yolks in one dish, and we're going to put our egg whites in another dish. When I separate my egg yolks and whites, I like to separate them into another container and then dump them into the container I'm using them in, just in case I break one and I don't end up messing up the whole batch. So let's go ahead and do that. Oops, well, that didn't work out so good, so now you see why we did it this way. Let's try this again. I swear these eggshells are getting thinner every year. That wasn't quite what I was planning to do, but all is not lost. Okay, I'm going to put the egg yolks in a glass bowl, and I'm going to be putting the egg whites in my immersion blender. I save my eggshells and they go into a compost bin. The great thing about composting from your kitchen, other than you're creating a fertilizer that's very organic, is you're going to have less scraps that you throw away, so there's less garbage. To our egg white mix, we're going to be adding our baking powder. So let's put these in for the immersion blender part. And we need a ½ teaspoon of baking powder. And then for our egg yolks, we're going to be adding our ½ teaspoon of sea salt. Or that's what I'm using, Redmond Ancient sea salt. You can use whatever salt you want, but that's my preference. And we're going to be adding 3 tablespoons of cream cheese. The brand doesn't matter, just get whatever brand of cream cheese you like. You want the eggs to warm up to room temperature, and you want to soften the cream cheese to room temperature as well. Okay, so I'm just going to use a knife here to help myself level this out. It's not always easy to measure an exact tablespoon of cream cheese, but all right, that's number 1. Number 2. Okay, we have our 3 tablespoons of cream cheese. So we're going to use our immersion blender on the egg whites, and we're going to use a regular blender on our egg yolks. You just want to get these lemon and fluffy looking. It's a good idea to go ahead and scrape your bowl to make sure you don't have the cream cheese stuck to the bottom or to the side. All right, that looks pretty good. Now let's go ahead and do our egg whites. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the oven on 400. Now let's do our egg whites. You know, I actually did this opposite of how I normally do it. Usually I do the beaters on the egg whites and the immersion blender on the eggs. Let's just do this the way we're supposed to. Alrighty, let's get this going. Alright, I think we've got our egg whites just right now. So let's go ahead and add our egg yolks into this mixture. Just going to lightly fold this in. You can see why they call it cloud bread. It looks like there's little clouds floating in here, but the texture of the bread will also remind you of clouds. Most of the time I like to make our vegan keto seed and nut bread for everyday bread use, but this is wonderful for egg sandwiches and then also for some desserts. All right, let's go ahead and add this into our pan. Our oven is still heating up. Just add a little bit, make sure we get an equal amount in all of these. If you don't get it quite right, you can always use a spoon to dip some out. And the silicone molds I got off of Amazon, and they were not expensive at all. So what you're seeing right now is part 1 of the video. Part 2, I'm going to show you how I make an egg sandwich with these. A toasted egg sandwich. We're waiting for our oven to warm up, and then we're going to be putting these in the oven for about 12 minutes. And I can see that one of these is not quite as full as the other, so we'll just balance it out a little bit. So when you put this in your pan, it should look kind of foamy, which it does. All right, we'll pause for a moment and we will come back as soon as our oven is warmed up. Our oven's up to temperature. I'm going to go ahead and put these in, and we're going to let them go for 12 minutes. So I'm actually going to pull these out at 10 minutes. They look a little golden, so let's do that. See if you can get a good look at these. Look at how lovely and brown these are. You know, you could almost invert these. There we go. And being careful not to squish them. Alrighty. Yeah, you probably could just invert the mold, but since I'm already doing it this way, we'll just go ahead and do it this way. Just going to let these cool for a minute. Give you one last look at them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like, please stay tuned. The next video, I'm going to demonstrate making egg sandwiches using our little keto cloud bread egg thins. Thanks for watching.